Hello there. What is going on, everybody? Today we are going to be looking at some amazing terrain from e-Raptor for their upcoming Kickstarter, and I'm going to be showing you guys a lot of different pieces that are all available. Big thanks to e-Raptor for sponsoring this video, and if you like what you see here today, check the link in the description below so you can check out some of this awesome terrain yourself. This fantasy village terrain is really cool. It's all pre-painted, and we're going to take a look at a lot of these different pieces. So sit down, relax, and let's dive right into it. All right, so now before we really dive too deep into the terrain, I want to show you guys basically the playmat boards. Now these are all wood. They are HDF. And they're gonna be really sturdy, and they all come pre-painted. As you can see, like, this is a really nice detail. There's an incredible level of detail on this artwork that already comes on these. So you don't have to do any painting. So for those of you who don't like having to paint your terrain or sculpt your terrain or anything like that, this all is done for you, which is really cool. And you've got lots of different squares, so you can kind of build out however you want. I've got kind of a grassy area set up right here that I'm going to demo some of this terrain on. And what's cool about this too is that you can kind of have it kind of transition from kind of grass into rocky if you want to do it like that. There's different types as well. There's way more rocky types. We've got some more ruins and mountainous stuff over here. So there's a lot of different sceneries and sort of biomes for you to be able to work with. So I'm going to go with just grassy for right now for this video, and we're going to show you guys some of the terrain. So similar to how these boards are pre-painted, all of the buildings and all terrain pieces are also going to be pre-painted. And as you can see right here, this is really high quality stuff. Look, like the chimney has got every single brick painted in there. We've got double layers, and there's a whole lot of cool extra features that might not be evident right away with this terrain. So one of the cool things about this is, of course, it is multi-layered. It works in a variety of settings, whether it's fantasy and this is a ruined building. You know, this is perfectly workable for Warhammer 40K or Age of Sigmar. It kind of fits into the medieval fantasy theme. This also fits really well for RPGs. This also could work really well for even other types of games like Zombicide, because you do have clearly defined rooms in a lot of these buildings, and it definitely works. And also, look at that. The top layer comes off. So now you can, if you're doing this for RPGs or even wargaming and you want to, measure line of sight a little bit more easily, you can kind of take that top layer off. You can hide things in here your players have to find in an RPG session, and you have room to put beds or chairs or furniture or anything else you want to put in there, which is really cool. But we're not done. We are not done because, and by the way, like little points of detail here. Look at the floor here. You see the grates for the heat to get through to heat up the second floor. There's so much attention to detail in these pieces that it's just magnificent. You got individually sculpted windows. All of this stuff is really cool. But also, we've got a little magnet here on this door, and the door opens and closes. It locks in right there. Look at this. And there's a little magnet piece right here, and boom, and it seals, and it'll stay closed. But then you pop it open and close. So now you have functional terrain too. You can hide objectives in there. People can open the doors, close the doors. You can have all kinds of very different ways to use this terrain in multiple different games. So we've got a couple other pieces from the Fantasy Village set. Look at, here's the one that we just did before. So this one is another house that is less destroyed. This one is, kind of still standing. This one didn't get hit by too many of the rockets or whatever. We're going to take the top off. We can see we have a fully functional interior inside there. Lots of room for tables and chairs. We also have a door on this piece as well that can open and close, and our magnet is right there. Really cool stuff. I'm going to set these up with some miniatures so you can kind of see how they're going to look, which is really fun. And then we've got a much larger piece here. This one is it does have the roof mostly blown off, although we do have a roof that can come off. So again, you still have, a lot of options on how you want to set this up. If you want it completely open, you can do that. If you want it a little bit more realistically, partially blown off, you can do that too. You have a lot of options. But what I like about a piece like this, clearly defined rooms This makes it very, very easy for RPGs to have certain triggers. Like in this room, there's something in this room, something as your characters make an observation roll. Or games like Zombicide, hey, this room spawns zombies, this room spawns zombies, this room spawns zombies. Or in a war game, you have the walls in between rooms that are blocking line of sight. So you have a lot of places to potentially hide or take cover behind walls, and very, very cool stuff. And again, we also have the door in here with the little magnet so our doors can open and close. So very, very cool stuff. Very fun. We're going to look at some more different types of sets as well. So we've got a lot more to show you guys. So I also want to show you guys how these all get assembled and what, if you back and you order some of these, what it might look like. Because are you going to get them all pre-built? Well, they're mostly built because you certainly have all of your pieces fully painted, but you're going to punch them out of a board like so, and they do slide in. And they're going to go in together just like this. Now, if you've seen any of the e-Raptor stuff that I've done before, we've done some of the Nemesis inserts and the organizers. They are going to attach together very easily. We've got really cool ladders here as well, which make for fantastic ways to get into the higher parts that might not have steps. Some parts do have steps. So we're going to punch all of these out and sort of just build a little tower for you. Boop, boop, boop. Just be real careful when you're doing this. Sometimes you'll have like a little extra piece which you might want to file down a little bit. This happens on any type of wood product that you punch out. And you do the same thing if you're punching miniatures out of a sprue. You always want to kind of file down to some of those extra pieces to make sure that everything fits. So you're just going to lay these down, and you can take your top piece here, which is going to have a little spot to stick in right there. We're going to take our bottom piece, which is going to have a spot to stick in right there. And so we've got little holes in here too, and that's for these ladders to kind of, they'll be able to stick in there and then rest on the top hole here, so that it's going to be sort of a natural place for people to climb up. So there's a lot of thought that goes into this. By the way, you also don't need any glue. And then so we're going to take these pegs here, and they're going to go into these holes right here, and they kind of slide in there just like that. And you're going to do that for all the way around and put the whole thing together. You don't need any glue because they all interlock. Of course, you can use some wood glue if you like, but you don't need any. All right. So with everything put together, we're just going to take our ladder and stick that in there, and done. So now we have a really nice little ruin. We've got different interior, different exterior, and people can kind of climb up, and archers can get on there and take shots, or we just have some nice line of sight blocking terrain. So I want to show you guys all the rest of the pieces now. All right, so we've got some of the slums up right now, and these have a really kind of like rotted wood sort of look to them. Really nice for maybe city outskirts or slum areas. And you know, there's lots of room to be able to go in underneath. There's a lot of walkways to be able to move miniatures inside and outside, or hide other little pieces of terrain like little money bags and scatter terrain. Some of these are small enough that you can kind of use them as scatter terrain, and other of these are much larger. And so, and kind of all of these sort of have this this ladder kind of hookup, where we can have, you know, ladders kind of go into there and work like so, which is cool. And there's a lot of ladders with these different pieces, and they have them on, you know, the upper levels and on the ground levels as well. So if we go into down here, we can see we've got ladder hookups this way, right, like so. And I'm trying to show you the inside there, right? So we've got that, and because of this little notch here, it allows the ladders to kind of to lock in between that top groove, which is really nice, because I like it when terrain is functional, when it's not just a block or just a box that's sitting on your tabletop. So this one, instead of having ladders, you've actually got some stairs here that miniatures can go up. So that one's really cool. I always like when there's stairs, especially when they're grooved far enough underneath that you can fit a miniature's base on there. Why don't I grab a couple of miniatures and show you guys how they're going to look on these pieces. So here we go. You can just see, like, the size is just perfect. And these are like slightly larger models. These are some Age of Sigmar, Stormcast Eternals, and lots of room to kind of fit them all over the place. So again, looks really good with this. Legion miniatures are going to be similar size. Even for you know, any tabletop miniatures game, you're going to play these as just a really good size of building to work with your games for terrain or for RPG stuff. All right, so next we are looking at one of the tree houses. Now, there's a whole bunch of different tree houses that are available on the Kickstarter, and they all have interiors as well as multi-tier. You have like lots of different levels, so this is really cool if you have jumping or flying miniatures, or you're trying to do like an Ewok village or something like that for Star Wars Legion, or some kind of fairy tale village or what have you. And of course, they have the ladder hookups, and this one I believe comes with longer ladders too that you can also, if you have multiple tree houses, you can link them together. So that is a really fun one. So very cool, and it kind of fits more of a fairy tale theme. Now, if you're trying to go a little bit darker, we've also got the cathedral here. Now, this one is got kind of a lot of that grimdark sort of look to it. This is going to be very, very familiar to 40K players and players who are into a lot of that grimdark type of stuff. And of course, we've got our different interior and exterior type of looks on these, and that's just a really cool thing. Like a lot of places, even when I've seen pre-painted terrain, there's any kind of terrain manufacturer usually doesn't put a lot of detail on the inside, and that's what they've done here. So this is really cool. And it adds a whole different level of depth. And one of the things that's cool about this is, since this is all modular, so we've got we've got insides, we've got hallways all within here. The floorboards are done. Look, even the roofs, the ceilings are done on the inside. Who's gonna ever look at the ceiling on the inside on the ground floor? Well, if they do, here it is, right? Like this is amazing. I love this. And look at this. We've got a magnetic drop gate. A magnetic drop gate. Look at that. And it locks into place. This is amazing. I didn't even notice this before we started. And I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this. Look at this. How cool is that? Like, they're coming. They're coming. Drop the gate. Oh, they won't let us through. No problem. I'll use my magic spell. Right? I don't know if they have magic spells. I haven't read all of the battle tome for them yet. Need to get started on that. All right, but so one of the things we can do is we can put more pieces together. So if you're creating a big wall, you can go like that, right? And then of course have a longer wall, maybe bisecting your battlefield. But you also have these tower pieces, which are cool because now I can put this on an end, right? Boom! I can make that a bookend, right? Or I can put that tower piece connected to here, and now all of a sudden I've got like doors connected to doors here, and like I can make a whole T. I can do a lot of different sections, which is going to kind of be a nice segue into our final piece and my personal favorite. Let's show it to you. All right, so we've got ourselves a full-blown castle coming up here right now. So this is just really cool, and it's modular. And I love that it's modular because it means every time you set up terrain, you get to play with it. You get to come up with however you want it to look. We've got all kinds of interior stuff. We've got, like, this could be stables. You can have horses in here. You can put little barrels. You can put lots of things inside here to add to your story, to add to what you are building, and it really lends itself to that. It also has lots of little hookups for ladders. Wasn't I talking about ladders before? Right? We can add our ladders to this so our guards can get up on here. And look at this. I mean, even these wide bases for the Stormcast Eternals, like, you have plenty of room for these guys. And just about every other minis game I have, the people have smaller bases than this. I'm going to set up a big scene. I'm going to show you guys more of a range. We'll throw some Star Wars Legion in here also. And we'll take a look at the whole thing so you can kind of see the different bases. So I'll show you guys this a little bit more detail. But I want to show you guys the rest of these pieces first. And what you can do with it, because there's some all kinds of hidden surprises with this stuff, and I'm thrilled. So we've got our towers, all right, and these are real nice. Now look, we've got walls in here. This can be like the end cap tower, but we've also got some other towers that have two walkways. And what's cool about these is I can put one of these walls up to that side of the tower, right, like that, and I can put another wall to that side, and now you got a clear walkway. And now all of a sudden I have just made the corner to my castle. How cool is that, right? And we've got lots of these different towers, so we can do a lot of different things. But we have this other piece right here. We have the gate. Oh, and the gate is cool because remember we were talking about doors? And drawbridges, they've combined everything into one here. We've got the opening the door. Oh, I'm sorry, you still can't get through. You can give me your message, though. I'd be happy to deliver your message to the king on your behalf. Oh, is it gold? I would love to give your gift to the king, but I'm afraid you can't come in. If you give me the gold, I'll be sure it gets to where it's supposed to go. But if the drawbridge does come up, now, of course, there is a way inside, so you can do that. Or you can actually take this out and set it aside if you don't want to have the gates involved. So you can have a lot of options on how you want to do that, and it still works the same size and hookups to the normal walls that you've got here. So very, very cool stuff. I'm going to show you the whole thing put together. All right, so here you can see the big deal. I've got all of it kind of set up and put together. I've got the doors open. I'm opening up the gates. We're going to have a battle royale here. I've got Darth Vader. I've got some stormtroopers. And again, the stormtroopers fit in here way easier. Again, the Legion miniatures are smaller bases, so no problem for Legion, no problem for Warhammer, whether you're doing 40K or Age of Sigmar or any of that. It all really fits in here really, really well. I love it. I absolutely love it. This is really, really cool stuff. And I know it's weird because sometimes with a sponsored video, you're like, well, does he really love it? No, I really do love it. You're gonna probably see this in some battle reports, and I've got an ATST here to give you some scale. It's big enough to contain the giant walker too. So really, really fun. And if you get multiple sets of these, you can make even bigger castles. Like you could do a castle within a castle. Like there's so much you can do with this. And of course you can mix and match with other sets. You know, if you wanted to have some of the cathedral ruins inside the castle, maybe that's what it's built around. Like you could have like the cathedral in the middle of the kingdom and so on and so forth. A lot of stuff you could do. And I love the fact that this is all modular, that the doors open and close. What a chef's kiss to the functionality. This is absolutely functional, beautiful, and fun. You guys are going to love this. So definitely go ahead and check them out. A big thanks to e-Raptor for making this video possible. Big thanks also to my patrons for continuing to support this channel. I will talk to you guys soon. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to check out this Kickstarter. Show them some love. Give them a follow. Make a pledge. Order some fantastic terrain. You won't regret it. I want to thank you again. And as always, may the Force be with you.